Welcome to Beyond the Chutes, is presented by ParaSight Systems. We are your hosts today, Doug Simcox, and my co-host Sam Swearingen, two-time North America Rodeo Commission champion saddle bronc riders with us. Sam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Doug?
I am good. We are settled in. I'm in Tennessee. So BTC is officially on the road again, Sam. We are recording today in Springfield, Tennessee, in our BTC studio bus. And Sam, so first time we've done this, first time we put the bus on the road, first of many stops, I think, this summer. And Sam, you've had a very, very busy week. Lots of driving. How are things?
Everything's good. Yeah, lots of driving and got lots of rest. I don't have to drive all night, so it's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing. And you was at the house up in Louisville with us this last weekend. We got to go watch Dalen at the PBR. Had a lot of fun up there. And, you know, lots of driving. First run out on the season for us. And like our rodeo cowboys and cowgirls that are pounding those highways right now, hustling from rodeo to rodeo, Sam and I were on the road. And, you know, it reminded me as I got into this traffic, driving a little bit bigger rig, as many of you are driving those big rigs, trucks and trailers, which means, as Robbie Hodges reminds us, rolling 60 foot of death. And he reminds us to give space, back up your braking, use your turn signals, expect the worst driving behavior possible from all those around you, but really it is about eyes up. And we appreciate you listening to us as you travel, hopefully during your long runs, overnight, all kinds of weather and traffic. Be safe, eyes up, and we hope this episode will help the miles passed a bit easier. And I think you're going to like this today. We have a four-time International Professional Rodeo Association World Champion bull rider as our guest. I met him at the IFR in January. We sat down at that point and says, we got to record. He said, absolutely. And he said, you got to come to the house. So here we are today. And we get to sit down with him. So please welcome to our show, Mr. Four-time himself, Mr. Dennis Morris.
Thank you very much. And I told you before, I don't like to brag on myself, but you can say that as you want to. It'll be good.
So
I don't like to say it, but I like listening to it.
Okay. So if I just call you Mr. Four-time, is that all right?
That'd be fine.
And maybe I might just start calling you Four-time.
That'd be good.
Okay. So I've got from the record books. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
You're going to have to put Mr. in front of it. It just sounds so much better.
Does it, Mr. Four-time? And I'm rolling on. I'm rolling on so fast here, Sam. I'm so excited. You need to welcome Dennis to our show here, if you would, please.
Hello, Dennis, and I know why he's rolling on so fast. It's because it's just the connection, because you talk like this and we can't understand you half the time. So you're going to have to slow down.
Okay, I'll try my best. But when he goes to talking about the four times, I go to getting excited.
I'm sure you do. You know what I told the boys, though? I said, you don't have to talk about yourself. Your good people talk about you for you.
Well, that's what I told. I don't want to talk about myself, but I might if I need to.
Oh, you're going to, for sure. Yeah. And my dad said years ago, Sam, and you may have heard this saying, it ain't bragging if it's fact, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about. So
I'll listen real close and make sure nothing don't get unturned.
Okay, okay. And we might embellish some things. That's okay. As time goes on, some of these stories get a little bit wider, and a little bit broader, a little bit deeper, and a little more fun. And that's what we're looking for. So
okay, so
yeah.
Saying that, how are you, Mr. Six-Timer?
I'm good.
Six-timer.
I'm good. Just don't say three.
Well, you got to embellish them.
I see.
Okay.
I see. I thought you were adding your two to his four, Sam. I thought maybe that's how you were getting there.
You know, at our age, everything, you know how it is.
I
just leave it alone.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay. So, Dennis, let's start at the beginning. Let's go way back to the beginning. Heck, go back as far as you want. You want to talk to your grandpa, grandma, your mom and dad. But let's talk about growing up and what it was like to be Dennis Morris, early memories.
I had several siblings. real close together. When my mama was 22 years old, she had 6 kids a year apart.
Holy cow!
And guess who was the baby?
You were the baby. You were number.
And I reminded them of that quite often. So for whatever reason, I've always been obsessed with cowboy stuff. I mean, I don't ever remember in my life not wanting to be a cowboy.
Really?
Oh yeah, not just playing the game. When we was playing with kids, I wanted to be a cowboy. So when I was 3 years old, I got a pony.
Really?
And my brother had a pony.
Okay.
And so I've never been without one since then. So, and that's all we did was rode them ponies. And as I got older, and so we would ride our dogs, and we'd watch a rodeo on TV, and we'd get on the couch arm or something, and, you know, Mom would be mad because, you know, we'd gonna break it or something. But we was always playing something pertaining to rodeo or to cowboy life. But we really didn't know anything about the rodeo world, how it really worked. We just knew that's what we wanted to do. And so my daddy had a brother, and he had 2 boys that was the same age as me and my brother. And so they was obsessed too. So we stayed together all the time. And so when then I had a cousin that was a little older than us that moved out to Texas after he got out of the Army. And he got on a bull or two. Well, he'd come back telling us about it and stuff. And, you know, we just kids. So we just had to do it. So we'd ride a steer. When we'd go somewhere where there's roping, and we'd working some cows for somebody, and they'd hold a calf down, we'd get on it. Because, you know, my daddy and my uncle, my whole family, my brothers and my cousins, they was tough. I mean, I was probably one of the least toughest ones of them. So, and as I think I was 15 maybe, there was just an amateur open, wasn't sanctioned by anything, rodeo, come about 20 miles up the road here. So I said, well, you know, when I'm going to ride a bull when I get over there. So when I got there, it's the first rodeo I'd ever been to. So when I got there and I saw the bulls and stuff, well, I wasn't quite so sure. You know, I was like, I don't know about it. You know, I was like, I don't know. You know, this is real here, you know. So it's a lot different when you're just playing on the chair arm. So finally, the guy that was having the rodeo says, I got an extra bull back here. Somebody wouldn't get on him. Well, I was trying to hide. And my daddy and my uncle said, yeah, we got a boy to get on him. You know, so they was tired of hearing me talk about it. So they kind of shamed me into it. And so I got on him, and, you know, he was all right. I rode him. He didn't buck real hard, but so after that, I was hooked.
Yeah.
You know, so you fast forward another year. I'm 15 or maybe 16 now. And so I get on a bareback horse, steer, and a bull. And so, you know, and rode all of them. And so I thought, I got this.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing to this.
Right.
So then I go to another rodeo. Well, I got on one that bucked. And he throwed me halfway across the pen. I'm like, I don't know about this. You know, this wasn't quite as much fun but still, when you get bit by that bug, you know, you don't never get over it. And so then so I wanted to be a cowboy in Robertson County, Tennessee. So when I was in high school, a lot of my friends would ask me, when you get out of school, are you going to move out west and be a cowboy? And I'd say, nope, I'm going to do it right here in Robertson County. Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow I know that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So we was working I was helping the guy that in Cross Plains owned the Wild Horse and Burro Adoption Center for the BLM, the government horses.
Yep.
And we was up there one day and was talking, and Preston Folks lived in Fairview, Tennessee, and he put on IPRA rodeos. So, I mean, I thought I knew guys that rode into IPRA that they didn't even have to ride very good, but if they had an IPRA card, you know, I thought they was the stuff.
Right.
You know, so I thought I got to do this.
Yeah.
So I got out of high school and got me an IRA card, and the very first IRA rodeo I entered was in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, and one of the Longhorn rodeos, and threw one of the better bulls that he had, and I was like scared to death. And so I was watching them guys that I knew had been in the top 15, I'd look at their ropes and look at their spurs and I didn't even know it was a difference in a right and left-handed bull rope. Had no idea.
Really?
Oh, no. So we finally, you know, I just had the drive and the willpower enough to hold on. I didn't really know how to ride, but I just was not going to let go. So that got me through my whole career. So when I finally got to win in, I worked in a factory right here in Springfield. It was called Tappan at the time. It's Electrolux. Now they build ovens, cooking ranges.
Yep.
So I worked there because I didn't even know they had rodeos during the week. You know, I didn't even know this. So when I got out of high school, I went to work in that factory. And I would sit in there looking at how big that place was, and I was imagining dirt in the floor and bucking chutes over here. And so then we'd go to a rodeo on Friday and Saturday and sometime on Sunday. But then finally I found out, you know, they got rodeos during the week. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Okay.
So finally I said, you know what? I sitting at the kitchen table and I'd tell my mama and my daddy at supper, I was still living at home with them, and I'd say, I won't quit.
Yeah.
I won't go to them rodeos. And my mama, she'd be like, no, you don't need to quit. You need to go. You know, and my daddy, he'd say, you need to quit tomorrow.
Yeah.
He'd say, cause whatever you're going to do, you need to do it now.
Yeah.
He said, cause we ain't got no money, but if you ain't got nobody to worry about but yourself, if you get out there and get broke, I can get enough money to get you home.
There you go.
He said, so if you're going to go, you need to go. I said, you know what? That's what I'm fixing to do. And so I started going to them rodeos and stuff, and fortunately got to riding good enough to, you know, make it work. And so, and probably, so let's skip over a little bit from one of my, I don't know what word I'm looking for, probably the thing that you win. Well, you think for once that in your life, if you ever become a world champion, you know, you've done it.
Yeah.
You've done it.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's
Yeah.
just a small piece of the puzzle.
Is that right?
Oh, yes, because to me,
Yeah.
what means the most to me
Yeah.
is it was in the 80s when I met Sam Swearingen.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for a rodeo, I wouldn't even know Sam Swearingen. All right, then there was guys that are in the rodeo business that are my daddy's age that didn't know me from, I was just a guy that showed up at their rodeo, entered the bull riding just like thousands of other kids and young guys. Now, today, 30 years later, they respect my opinion of a life decision.
I see.
The world title is not even close to that in my book.
Okay.
That means more to me. And Sam Swearingen calling me if he needs something.
Yeah.
And when he asks me a question, it don't go in one and out the other, and it stops in the middle.
Okay.
That is what does it for me, because I was raised that way.
Okay.
You know, and I mean,
Okay.
because I had good parents, I had good family on my mama's side, my daddy's side, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins. I mean, if I got into something, it was on me, because it wasn't because of the way I was raised. I promise you, because I was raised where you're supposed to be raised.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
So maybe we got off track a little
no,
bit.
no, not at all. I mean, I really appreciate you talking about the relationships and really, you know, a lot around being respected for your wisdom, your knowledge, your ability to think, as well as the belt buckle that you wear.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and I wanted to be in the rodeo business.
Okay.
And when I was going to them rodeos,
Yeah.
I didn't have no idea how I was just entering the bull riding.
Right.
I didn't know how they got paid to do it. I didn't even know how it worked.
Yeah.
So I would ask them guys that was in the rodeo business. I'd say, how do you do that? How do you get paid to do this? You know, how do you
Yeah.
get the steers? How do you get the calves? How do you do this? You know,
Yeah.
how does this committee pay you? I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
so I would pick their brain, you know, about things. And so so in January of 91, for the physical year of 90, there was a lady that worked at the local radio station here in Springfield. So they had a big parade here in Springfield when I come home. It was,
Oh, after your first championship.
oh, yeah, they made a big deal, you know.
You have pictures of all this, Dennis?
So it was a pretty cool event. But,
Yeah.
So the lady that worked at the radio station,
Yeah.
her husband was a local veterinarian.
Yeah.
So she calls me and she said, hey, we want to do a rodeo here in Springfield. So I had a good friend that was in the rodeo business named Jerry Bolin in Holly Springs, Mississippi.
I see.
So I called him. I said, hey, we want to do a rodeo here. He said, you sell the sponsors, you do this and that, and I'll come do your rodeo.
Okay.
So we did that, and the first year, which would have been 92.
Yeah.
So then in 93, I'm still riding.
You're still riding.
So
yeah.
that lady tells me she don't want to do the rodeo.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I do, but I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I called Jerry, and he explained to me, you just go sell the sponsor stuff, and I'll do the rodeo, and you pay me this much, and blah, blah, blah. So we did that in 93 and 94. So then I bought some bulls, bought my place, and started, you know, kind of had bought some panels and bought an arena and So Jerry told me, he said, hey, if you're going to be in rodeo business, you need, because I wasn't going to do it. I was just going to let him keep doing it.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to cut him out.
Yeah.
And he said, you need to do your hometown rodeo for sure. So actually, I done it in '94 was the first year I done it myself.
Okay.
But now the rodeo is every year the last week of July, and we do it. It's going to become a big, major event. You
Oh,
know, lots of
nice.
added money.
So how many years then?
It
30?
started in '91.
91. Okay. So what is that?
So
for
then
my
I
math?
started doing it myself in '94. Was probably the first year I done it.
23 years.
23?
How
No.
long? 30.
33 years, Sam.
I'm doing that accounting, Doug.
I
like you
know
do.
you are. You've hung around me a
I'm
little bit
thinking
too
of
much.
I'm thinking of my age. You know, I knock 10 years off every time I add.
There you go. There you go.
But-
So that rodeo is still going on today, which you
it's-
started in 1991.
It's the last weekend of July every year.
Okay.
And it's one of the major events here in Springfield. I mean, I think year before last there was about 2,800 people on Friday and about 4,000 Saturday.
Nice.
It's become a big event. It's a good. Gupton Motors, the Dodge dealership here, he got behind me 30 years ago, and he still is
Same sponsor.
Same sponsor.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Well, give
same-
them a shout out.
Same
Who
guy.
is it again?
Gupton Motors.
Gupton.
Gupton.
Yeah. Dodge, you said?
Dodge. Ram.
Ram Tough.
Ram Tough.
Yeah.
That's what the name of the
Ram
rodeo
now.
is. Gupton's Ram Tough Rodeo.
Is that right?
That's the name of the rodeo.
Nice, very nice. And that's the end of this month, the end of July, excuse
yeah,
me.
yeah.
The end of July, 33 years you're celebrating.
Right. We
this.
missed 20 because of COVID.
Okay, because of COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
But IPRA sanctioned?
Yes.
Okay. So to our cowboys and cowgirls, pay attention for the books. They're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be coming up on your next gen here pretty
Oh, yeah. Oh,
in,
yeah.
in a couple months.
Yeah.
So I want to go backwards just a bit here. You're sitting at the table with your mom and your dad, and you say, I want to quit my job at Tappan, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to make my living rodeoing.
Yeah.
Mom said,
No.
no. Okay, not even, it was no.
Yeah.
Nope, don't think so, Dennis. And Pop said,
Have at it.
have at it.
Yeah.
All we got to do is have enough in the bank to bring you home
That's
if
right.
we got something
You're
going
going
on.
to be dumb, you got to be tough.
So, what was that?
If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
I love that. I love that. So, what year was that, and how old were you then?
So that would have been 86 when I quit work and started. So I would have been, so I was born in 64. So I'd have been 22.
Okay. So, and you started 17, 18, more or less, starting to ride bulls. Now, in between
I started
there,
15 getting
15,
on. Yeah.
15
yeah,
getting on. Started to haul, though, 16, 17 when you went to Louisville. And that's quite a run from here, Dennis, all the way up to Louisville and to a Longhorn for your first big rodeo.
Oh, yeah, I didn't need to be there. I was
No?
way over. I was way outmatched. Yeah, that was way over. I mean, I didn't even need to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember Longhorn?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember walking there thinking, what the hell have I done?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would I do this? You know? This is a dumb idea.
Dumb idea. And no rodeo schools, no
No.
official help, no.
The very first bull riding school I've ever been to, I put it on right out here.
Did you really? Okay. So where somebody had to help you, mentor you, haul with you,
Well,
get you equipment?
I mean, ordered. Me and my cousin just ordered a bull rope out of a magazine, and it was a
Okay.
grass rope.
okay.
So we go to a rodeo somewhere. I can't even remember where, and somebody says, you need to get a poly rope. Them grass ropes ain't no good. So we order us a poly rope. Well, he's left-handed. I'm right-handed. And so after a year, his rope is done like it looks like it's wore out. So a guy named Terry Langford from Franklin, Tennessee, that built rodeo equipment. So we tool off down there to Franklin, Tennessee, going to tell Terry something's wrong with this bull rope.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we go in there. My cousin, he don't talk much as I do. So I go in there and we, walk. So we walk.
He can't.
Yeah. So we go in there, and I got my chest bowed out. I'm a bull rider, and I this bull rope's no count.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
needs to
yeah.
tell me why.
Yeah.
And so first thing, and I don't know if I know Sam knows Terry, but he's real quiet and real dry. And he said, yeah, left-handed. So I look and I'm thinking, I had no idea.
I had no idea.
So finally, that's okay.
Now, wait a minute. Let me back up here.
Okay.
Left-handed. Was he riding left-handed?
Okay,
Was
but
he
it
a
was
right-handed?
No, I was right-handed, and he's left-handed.
Yeah.
So mine was holding up good. His
I
was
see.
the one that was.
I see.
Because it was backwards.
It was
and
backwards.
The way it's laced is the way. So he was turning
Okay.
against it. You know. And it
Oh,
was
my
Making
goodness.
it. So
Okay.
I
So
said,
let's get this straight before we go on.
Okay.
So you're right-handed,
I'm
but you
right-handed.
ride with your left hand.
No. I ride right-handed. My cousin rode left-handed. So
Okay.
both the ropes were right-handed ropes. We just didn't know that. So my cousin rode
Okay.
left-handed. So his rope was not holding
It
up.
was backwards.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so his rope was not holding up. So I was gonna go tell him why. You know, this rope, my
Yeah.
rope's good. His is no count. You know, so
Give us our money back.
yeah. So he explains the difference. So I said, I feel like a fool.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know why you feel like a fool. Think how much money you've won, and you didn't even know what the difference. Think about
Yeah.
the guys that's been riding that
Yeah.
y'all have been beating. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
I thought, well, you got a good point there. So he built me and my cousin a new rope.
Grass still?
No, poly.
Poly.
And he built us, and I never rode with another bull rope other than Terry Lane for all the years that I rode bulls. The rest of my life, I rode. And after I was the world champion the first time, guys that was in the bull rope business would be at the IFR, and they'd give me a card and say, like if you try one rope, and I'd say, if I ever have any trouble, I'll give you a call. But I never rode with another rope other than a Langford.
And he continued to build them for you?
He'd give me two a year.
2 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And is that about what you needed to go down the road?
I did, because he said that it was a dumb statement for a bull rider to say that this rope's been on 200 bulls, because a bull rope is like anything else. It wears out so gradually, you don't know it's wearing out. You just wake up one day and it's wore out.
Okay.
So then you can't hold to it, or it's rolling over and you're hanging up. And so if you keep getting a new one, it don't never get wore out.
Okay.
So, and that stuff I wouldn't have known until he, helped me in that aspect. And so then, so we would just, me and him, my cousin, would continue to go to them rodeos, and then, but he got married and had some kids, so he was limited to what he could do.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
You weren't?
No,
you're still going hard.
I'm still going.
You're going
If it
hard.
was a name of a town was just a word to me, because if I could make it, I win.
Yeah.
So, because in 1993, I went to 169 sanctioned rodeos in a year.
169.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Got on 184 bulls that year.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And let me ask you this: do you have ledger or record of this? Because I couldn't tell you even within 100 rodeos what I did.
Let me tell you something. I had a book that I wrote down every town, who the stock contractor was, what bull I had, and what I scored, and how much I won. And then at the end of the month, I'd total it up, and then I'd total it at the end of the what it was for the year. But in the Monday before Christmas of '97, my house burned. So it burned all of that.
Really? You lost all those records?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You're going to 169 rodeos, 184 bulls, if I got that right.
Right, yeah.
And that's
you
full
ask me
time.
how many I rode?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, heck yeah.
Okay, go ahead and ask me.
How-
Okay, I got thrown off at 20 of them.
You rode 164 of 184?
I thought you would never ask that.
All right, so let me back up here. Let me make sure I got this right. Sam, I want you to listen, okay? He went to 169 rodeos. This is one season, 1 year. 169 rodeos, got on 184 bulls, and he bucked off 20.
Yes, that's pretty incredible.
And if you didn't think
there
I
you
was,
go, Dennis.
if you didn't think I was the man, you could have just asked me and I'd have told you. But it went downhill from there. That was the best year I had.
Oh
I
my
promise you.
goodness, what a year!
And that's why we call him Mister.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly, Mister 4 times. Let
Yeah.
me do something here real quick. 164 divided by 184, that is right at 90%, dude. 90% of the bulls that he got on, Sam, he rode.
And fortunately, I think
Yeah.
that I was, the way I was raised around the cowboy people, and the grittiness and the try hard, and I think from the time I was first started getting on bulls, I think I probably rode more than 50% in my
Did
whole
you?
life.
All the
I
way
don't
through.
think I've ever rode under. I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Cause,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, back before I started going to them IRA, I didn't keep up with it. But I don't know that I ever got thrown off more than I rode.
Yeah.
I don't think. I may have, but
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, that's a heck of a
But
percentage.
I just got one thing to say. 90%. That's pretty incredible. That's way better than he did in school.
Oh yes,
I'm sure.
I promise you. And some of them, was, and a lot of that, that other 10%, because it's going to J bars. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd make your average go down quick. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
during
beep,
this time,
beep, beep, here's the Jeep.
Do what?
I said, beep, beep, you got the Jeep.
Yeah.
Remember
was that a
that
bull?
bull bucked?
Oh
Jeep?
yeah, I
Yes.
remember all of them bulls that
Yeah.
he had. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that Iceman and Typhoon, and I mean, he had the best bulls of anybody.
Right. And at this point,
Mexican, and they were all good.
You know, it's something when a bronc rider remembers the
I
bulls.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
That's very
My
impressive.
favorite though, my very favorite of all time. Well, there's two. The GOAT was probably before your time. I was
Yeah, I
just
don't
a kid.
remember him.
He was incredible. Rusty Nail.
Oh yeah.
I love that
Oh
little
yeah.
bull.
I got
Just-
on him a
just,
couple of times. I never did ride him though. I got on Iceman, that bull of the year. I got on him 7 times, and I rode him once. I rode him the third time I got on him. He threw me the first 2, and then I rode him the third time, and he threw me the next 4. But I thought I could ride him. You know?
Yeah.
So you leave the house, you go full time. 93, you have this wonderful year. You'd already won a championship by then. Heck, you've won 2 championships by 93. Was that your career? Was that your main source of income? Were you working anywhere else?
Well, that was my main source of income, but I had a day job when I was at home. There was a guy named Roger Anderson that he passed away now. He owned a racehorse farm right 20 minutes from here up by the interstate, and I would go exercise them racehorses for him, and I'd get on 10 or 15 racehorses every day, and that kept me in shape too, because that's good.
Oh,
exercise.
beautiful.
Yeah, so I would.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
I was, but you know what people didn't know a lot when I was going to them rodeos, I was obsessed with cowboy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thought I was just a bull rider, but I mean we had horses and picking up. I was so obsessed with picking up. I could tell a good pickup man because I could tell what kind of saddle they're riding.
Okay.
Because most good pickup men, well, every good pickup man, not just average, but good ones are just a cowboy outside of the arena because they know how to read livestock, they know how to read them bucking horses, and you got to get in there and get out and and save the contestant, take care of the bucking horse, take care of your riding horse. So probably when I got voted to pick up at the IFR was probably a bigger deal to me than when I rode there.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was so excited. I was probably more nervous.
What year was that, Dennis?
Which time it was? You asked me how many.
How many times did you get chosen?
I didn't think you would ever ask.
I'm getting this. I'm getting this. So first off, for our listeners, the pickup man is chosen by the bronc riders, right?
And
Voted on.
right.
Yeah.
The bronc riders, the bareback riders, and there's a committee also.
And the committee.
Yes.
Okay. So if I were to just ask you, Dennis, how many times have you been selected to work as a pickup man at the International Finals Rodeo?
It'd be 6.
6 times.
6, yes.
6 times. Now, when did you, not while you're riding bulls.
Okay, so in 95,
Yeah.
I got a pretty cool story to tell you.
Okay.
So I hardly ever got hurt. Hardly ever. I mean, I was probably one of the luckiest guys ever rode bulls to get on as many as I did and travel and not get hurt no more than I did. I mean, I got beat up and banged up, but nothing serious much. So I had a bull fall on me, and I think Thanksgiving or around that, whenever the Longhorn Rodeo was in Nashville, it was around November.
In Nashville.
Yes.
Okay.
And a bull fell on me in 95. So I go to the IFR in January, which would have been January of 96 for the 95 year. So I wasn't in the lead. I was in the top 15. I don't remember. So there was a guy from Arkansas that had a bull in the first round that he rode him. He was 78 points, just a nice bull. Chuck Donaldson owned him, just turned back right there into the gate. That bull was 78. So I really thought I could ride better than that guy, you know. So I thought, that guy's a good bull rider, but he can't touch me. So I'm going. So in the last round, I had this bull.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell nobody. So Jerry Bellis and Danny Newland was announcing. So I go get them, and I said, "Hey, I'm fixing to retire."
Oh wow.
So they're the only two people I told.
Oh wow.
Because I was thinking it's gonna be my last two. I'm gonna ride this bull, I'm gonna step up on my feet, I'm gonna wave, people's gonna clap, Well, he threw me off. Everything was working good, but the bull threw me off, and I was like, "Dang it, that ain't how I wanted that to end." But they done announced it.
You're done.
I'm done. So I go a whole year of '96. I don't get on any bulls. So in New Year's Eve, one of my nephews that run with me all the time, he's 10, maybe 9 or 10, he said, "You remember Neil, Sam?"
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So Neil was here at my house. And this before my house burned, all that stuff, So I had my bull rope hanging on the wall and my spurs and stuff. And so I said to him, we was going to a bull riding in Pisgah, Alabama that night. I said, and Neil was entered.
Okay.
And I said,
okay.
so if I could get them spurs on my boots, I might just enter.
You said this.
I said this.
Oh, wow.
So he jumps up and gets my stuff, and we get it on. So we go to the bull riding. So I ain't been on a bull since January.
Okay.
First time since I was probably 16 that I hadn't been on bulls.
Yeah.
Of course, now, mind you, I played football and basketball from the 7th grade on through high school. So I'd never been out of shape in my life. I didn't even know people got out of shape.
Right.
Because when somebody would tell me that I remember when I was in shape, my mindset was, they don't even know because they ain't never been in shape. That's not true.
Right.
You don't get out of shape.
Right.
So
right.
Really, I did not know you could get out of shape.
Yeah.
Especially in a year. So I go to this bull riding, and I ride this bull, and I ride him 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Hey, when I got up, I couldn't breathe. I was like, holy heck, what the heck is it? So I needed oxygen. So, but I was like 80-something and wanted to bull riding. So we was leaving there, and he was entered. That was on a Wednesday. So Neil was entered at a rodeo in South Carolina on Saturday. And so I called Ken Treadway, the guy that was having the rodeo, and I said, hey, I just got on a bull.
Yeah.
Neil's coming to the rodeo.
Yeah.
Saturday, I'm coming with him.
Yeah.
So I need to enter. He's okay, enter.
Okay.
So I get on this bull that threw Clinton Cessna, which is a world champion, one of the best bull riders ever was.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a wonder he didn't win the world like 12 times. I mean, he rode so good, it's ridiculous. So he threw him off. I'm like, oh no. So what was I thinking? So I get on him and I ride him.
Yeah.
But when I tell you Sunday morning my arm hurt, I hurt in places I couldn't even hold a fork to eat.
Oh wow.
So I thought I'd ever hurt. I didn't know that you could. So fast forward on to, that was 96.
Mm-hmm.
So 97, I get on a few, and I could ride a little bit, but I started picking up.
Oh, you did?
For Bubba Ober. Started going to them rodeos,
Okay.
picking up stuff.
Okay.
Picked up some on rodeos, and I was done putting on rodeos. And so when I'd get to the rodeo, I'd be so worried about picking up, and I'd tell the guy, say, run my bull in first so I can get on, and that way I can get on my horse and go run the bulls out.
Okay.
And then I'd done bought an arena and stuff, and so I was so conscious about, or subconscious about how that arena looked. If them bucking chutes wasn't straight, like if I was at somebody's rodeo and I was looking down there and they was 6 inches out of square, I'd be like, I cannot believe they didn't. Yeah. And I'd catch myself, get somebody go help me try to slide them back, and then I'd be in the back pens looking and thinking if they had a gate right there instead of them panels. So, I was more interested in, I wasn't concentrating 100% on, right? I just rode them because I could, not really because I wanted to, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
and
that does make sense.
So then, and I could ride all right, but not near even, so 97, my house burned.
Uh-huh.
So then burned my bull rope. So I was borrowing bull rope. So then when I get through it, I blame it on the bull rope.
Right.
Because when you're looking for something to blame it on, you can find it,
Right.
So
Right.
So I was making a habit of, so I was pretty well making a habit of finding excuses because I was getting thrown pretty regular,
Right,
and
right.
I was thinking, this ain't near as much fun as it used to be,
Yeah.
So finally, Terry Langford made me a bull rope.
I was going to say, okay.
He got me a rope made, got me a Tiffany glove like I used, and go to Rockmart, Georgia. I had a bull that ain't been rode 2 years. and I rode him, won the rodeo. I ain't never even thought about getting on nothing since that day.
Is that right?
I think if I'd have rode that bull at the IFR,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever got on another.
You think that has settled it
I
for
think
you?
so. I don't know for sure. I will never know.
Right.
But I'm telling you, when that bull threw me,
Yeah.
I mean, it messed me up mentally because I really thought I could ride him,
Yeah.
you know. And so, and when I didn't, of course, you're supposed to think you can ride them all. But, you know, that bull shouldn't throw. I mean, he was just a nice bull, you know. And so, but anyway, I think if I'd have rode that bull, I don't know that I'd ever got on another.
Okay.
But I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
So then then when I got on them first two and I rode them, but I mean, when I would get on a bull after that, I'd be like, God, I want to start exercising.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, out of this whole story,
Okay.
you know, and you're saying you're out of breath and all that, you know, I got one thing to say, and this is what I live by now, because round is a shape.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still in shape,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not riding shape.
I
Let me
promise you.
tell you.
I know where you're at. I promise you. But we use our horses on a regular basis, so that helped me.
Okay.
You know, and I had a good set of pickup horses, and you know, and I wanted to pick up at that far. I just didn't pursue it much. But then,
Okay.
you know, because I put in for it probably 7 or 8 years.
Oh, you did?
Before I ever got to do it.
So what year, and let me just make sure I got this right, Dennis, you were chosen as the IFR pickup man 6 times. Did I get that right?
That's right. Yes, 6.
6
Yeah,
times?
Yeah. And 2008 was the first.
Oh, really? Not till 2008. Okay. So you were set up. You were going. Then did you start traveling hard to get out there and let everybody see you?
I mean, not really any more than normal because you're picking up for the same guys.
I see.
But they get a lot of rodeos, and then, you know, a lot of them same guys go to them same rodeos. And you know, but then the word travels.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
good or bad.
Yeah.
And so, you know, then the word got out that I had good horses, and then I was picking up with some good partners and stuff. And I knew, you know, I had a good reputation with a lot of them bronc riders and stuff, and the committee people. And of course, you know, Mike Ladding's on that committee, and I'm his favorite. So, you know, I mean, I had his vote. You know, so, yeah. So it just kind of worked out. And I tell another cool story about them horses. I thrive on horsemanship. I can't stand to see somebody that's just good at something without being a good horseman. You know, they just do it.
Yep.
So when we went the first year, when we was coming, I borrowed a couple horses. So after, and I told Gio, I said, I'm going to do this one of these years, and I'm going to own every horse that we bring out here. So I don't remember which year of the 6 it was, but we carried 6 horses out there, and we raised and broke 5 of them. So
really?
Yeah.
Really?
So that meant probably as much to me as getting the job was having that many good horses. And the other one was just an older head horse that I'd used that belonged to Brandon Harris, and we just traded for him. But, you know, he was just a real good pickup horse and stuff. So
What do you look for in a horse for picking up?
Well, I mean, size is a lot of it, but I mean, a horse has got to be, because, you know, when you get a horse broke, you gain that horse's trust. When you get him broke, you can run him in the side of that house.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go where you point him.
Yeah.
So once you get him broke, you can pick up on him.
Yeah.
But you got to get him broke and get him trusting you first. Because once you get him broke and trusting you can get him inside of a bucking horse.
So you raised them, you trained them, you broke them, you put the miles on them, then you started hauling them.
Oh, yeah.
How many horses were you hauling at a time?
You know, probably 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you'd always have a green one to use, because I didn't want to start a green horse at the rodeo because I wanted to make sure somebody got in a cramp, you was on the broke horse. But if somebody got a re-ride and they bucked the horse after the rodeo or something, you know, then you tell the other pickup man, I'd say, hey, I'm going to ride this young horse. So, you know, you make sure you're there if something goes south, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I would always get them to doing it. Then if we bucked horses, you know, out here or something, I would ride them out here and kind of get them used to it before I hauled them to the rodeo.
Any injuries as a pickup man? Any kind of wrecks you were in? Got to be some stories.
Not many. I didn't hardly. I mean, I roped an old wild cow and got my finger cut off. But
oh my goodness!
But I mean, that did not have to do with the rodeo.
So and folks, I will attest to it. Imagine where your little finger on your left hand attaches to your hand. It isn't.
No.
There's nothing. So what? Got it caught in the rope?
Oh, yeah, I roped at an old wild cow, and the wind was blowing, I missed. And when I was calling my rope back up, she turned and run at my horse, and her foot caught in my rope. Are you taking a picture?
No.
Oh.
I'm taking a video.
Oh, okay, so
There's a difference.
okay, so when the cow turned and run at my horse, her foot stepped in my rope,
Oh, wow.
and I tried to hold it. And when I tried to hold it, and she was running,
Oh, my.
it just slid it, and it.
I mean, just plinked it off?
Oh yeah, and I found it, and it looked like you could just stick it back on. It didn't even hurt.
It didn't hurt?
Oh no, it didn't even bleed.
No.
No.
Really?
No.
Your little finger?
No. So it looked like an old fake hand, you Halloween or something. You could like shake it. And So we packed it in a sandwich bag with some ice, and so I told the guy that I was catching the cow for, because I just bought a new plastic burner, and they're $2.30 to go on my rope.
Oh, okay.
A speed burner?
Yeah, speed burner.
And I just put one on that rope, and it was on that cow. And so I was wanting it really bad. I wasn't wanting her to get away. So I told the guy, I said, hey, give me some tape where I can tape this paper towel on my hand, because I will go get my rope.
Okay.
While y'all find my finger.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's like, no, you're going to the hospital. So I called my mama, because Jill was in Nashville. So
Okay.
I called my mama, and I said, hey, I'm going to the hospital because I just cut my finger off. She said, no, you didn't. I said,
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
She said, no, did.
Yeah.
I said, Mama, I ain't lied to you, and I ain't going to start now. She said, where's your finger? I said, in some ice over here, so we're coming to the hospital. So we pull up at the hospital where the ambulance goes. You know, it's got them automatic doors.
Yeah, emergency room.
So them doors open, my
Yeah.
dog runs in the hospital.
Of course.
So I'm chasing my dog through the room, and I'm thinking, what the heck? I'm
Yeah.
just to go to jail.
Yeah.
You know, so this is not real sanitary, you know, so I'm chasing my dog through, and so this guy's walking with my finger in the sandwich bag, and my horses is on the trailer, and so we go in, and the guy said, we catch my dog, and so I told him, you go ahead, and my mama's on the way to get me, you take my horses and dogs on home, and so the guy said, did you get it caught in the rope? I said, yes. He said, they cut it off. I said, yeah. So I took the paper towel off. He told me, you need to go to Nashville.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what he said.
Oh, my goodness.
So he just put the dirty paper towel back on it. I'm like, will you give me a clean gauze at least? Let me. So
He says, you need to go.
Yeah, so my mama comes in, and so she says, well, I don't know how to drive to Vanderbilt. I said, I do.
Oh, okay.
So we get in her car, and I
Yeah.
drive, and she's sitting over holding my finger in the sandwich bag, and so I called Jill, and I said, I just cut my finger off. We're coming to Nashville. She said, no, you didn't. She said, you're so full of me. I said, no, I'm being for real. So she meets us over there, and so we go in, and they examine it and stuff, and he just cut that little joint out right there and just put 3 stitches
Didn't
in.
even attempt to put it back on.
No.
No. No way?
No, he said a rope is so thick, and it looks like a clean cut, but it cuts. A knife blade, you can save them some, but a rope, you hardly ever save a rope.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because where it pinched it off, it looks.
Tore it or whatever.
Yeah.
And no pain, Dennis?
No, it
At
never did
some
hurt.
point.
It
had
never
to
did hurt.
No.
No, it
No.
didn't. I tell you what did hurt. When
Yeah.
he poked that needle right down in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Now that hurt.
To deaden it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I about beat on myself.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that did hurt.
I can only imagine.
And if you bump it, like
Yeah.
on
Oh,
something,
yeah.
that hurts. But,
Yeah.
but it don't hurt, though.
It don't hurt. You can use it.
Oh, yeah.
Hadn't affected your balance or anything? No.
Can't drink out of a creek.
Oh, you got a hole in the center there. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, and other things probably you can't do as well. But so you're picking up. You lost your finger. That's the worst accident you had. Any hang-ups or anything you can remember? I'm talking about the cowboys you're picking up.
Yeah, I mean, there was some, but you get them horses stopped quick as you can. And, I mean, I've not would. You told me not to do that. But anyway,
Yeah.
I hadn't been picking up, and somebody gets seriously injured by hanging up. But I've never, most of the time, I've always had a good partner, too. So, you know, I never had to pick up a lot without a pretty good partner. So, you know, it wasn't all on me. And so, I mean, I never seen anybody get really hurt by a bucking horse by dragging around.
While you was picking up.
Right.
So 6 times you picked up at the IFR. So first time was 2008. When was your last time, Dennis?
15.
So you did them right in a row.
I think so.
Yeah, most of them.
I think I skipped 11 or 12.
Did you skip 11 or 12?
I think.
Okay. Well, that is very cool. And not picking up any more at all?
A little bit.
A little
not
bit.
much.
But not going hard.
Oh, no. And there's so many guys that are so good at it. They're so much better than me now that it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
The 2 guys that pick up at our rodeos, there's 2 of them that picked up at the 3 guys that was at the IFR this year, and the 2 guys that you watched at the NFR.
Yeah.
They ain't no need me even trying. I mean, because them guys are so far ahead of the game, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because at the IFR, it was Logan Moore, McKinley Belvin, and Trace Houston.
Trace Houston.
Oh, yeah. Them 3 guys are just, like, phenomenal good.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't. Yeah. But they're cowboys, too. They're not just rodeo hands. That makes a difference.
And that makes a difference.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah. In 1988, you qualified to your first IFR. Tell us about that experience.
Okay, before I went, I broke a rowel on my spur. So we fixed it. Well, the rowel that I put in it was locked. It wouldn't turn at all. And my other one would roll like a quarter of a turn. So I just went with it. And, well, my mom and daddy was coming the next day. So they was going to miss the first round. So they was going to be there for the second round. So, and for whatever reason, when I got there, my bootstraps wasn't in my rigging bag. So went back there where the feed crew was and got 2 orange nylon hay strings.
Oh.
And so I tied my boots on with them. So I had one of David Bailey's bulls, and he welled me and he threw me off. So we go in the locker room. And Michael John Calico ended up being the world champion bull rider that year. And he was like kind of like Clinton Cessna. I mean, he could ride Godzilla. You know, I mean, he could just ride so good it's ridiculous. So we go into the locker room, and I felt like an outsider, really, because, these guys just rode so much better. And, I just seemed like I didn't need to be there. Well, so we go in the locker room, and so Michael John, he comes over there, and, he's, about halfway poking fun of me, about my boots tied them strings, and he said, well, no wonder you got thrown off. Said, look, this spur don't even work, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm trying to think, do I like this guy? Or, is he kidding with me? Or is he really making fun of me? I mean, how's this going, So Terry Langford had a booth set up at the trade show. So me and Michael John go to, and he filed on my spur and got them fixed. And Michael John gave me a pair of bootstraps.
Oh, wow.
So and I ended up riding 2 of the 5 bulls that year, the first year. So Michael John was the world champion, and so the following year we go, and I went in in 3rd place or so. So I snuck to the awards banquet, and I ended up 3rd place, I think, that year. And so I was standing in the back. I didn't go in.
Okay.
I just stood at the back.
Okay.
And I watched them give all them awards away. And I watched them give Michael John that for his 2nd world title in the bull riding. And I'm talking about I was trimmed in like I was about to freeze to death. I mean, I was shaking all over, and I thought, it's got to be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, And I've got to figure out how to win this. I just can't take it. I can't. Because if you're going to be second, you just must be 32nd. I mean, I wanted to be first. I didn't want to be second, And so I was like, I got to figure out a way to do this. So I just thought, well, you know what? If I can't outride them guys, if they going to go to 120 rodeos, I'm going to go to 150.
Okay.
Because I'm going to figure out a way to beat them.
Okay.
Because I'm going to win. I'm going to be a world champion. Somehow or another, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's when I really started going at it, going to more rodeos, and me and Michael John are good friends right today.
Yeah.
And so I had them bootstraps. I didn't use them anymore, but I kept them.
Okay.
And but of course they burnt, my house burnt, but just little things like that I miss more than but that was a pretty cool thing to me, because I didn't really know if he was poking fun, and then we ended up being, good friends.
Isn't that
so
cool?
but the IPR, them first 2, I felt real out.
Really?
Oh yeah, I didn't feel like I didn't have that confidence level that I felt like them guys had. I still was unsure about. I mean, I knew I could ride good, but I would like Michael John. He was, kind of like Donnie Gay. Whether you like him or not, it don't matter what Donnie Gay said when he was riding bulls. He could back it up.
Yeah.
So there again, it wasn't bragging; it was facts. Michael John was a whole lot that way, and you know, after me and him become friends, we'd be at a rodeo, and he'd like just tell somebody, you know, what, and I'd be like, man, you need to stop. You know, this is not going to turn out in your favor. But I mean, he could do it though. I mean, he could back it up, and so that was just his mentality. But you know, it took me a while, and I almost think one reason that I rode as good as I did for as long as I did was because I think I'd done quit riding before I realized the level I rode at, if that makes sense. I don't think that I ever really, because at one time, I think that I rode good enough to go to the NFR in Vegas. Because I think I was mentally and physically able, especially after I won the world in IRA the second time. Because that following year was the year I rode that 90% of the bulls I got on. So that I think I was physically and mentally capable of making it to the NFR. But I was already peaking in my career, and I was already settled in the IRA, and I done bought my place. And so every single thing I've got today from my name come from the IRA and from cowboy stuff. So, and I think I would encourage anybody to try to go to the NFR if they're capable in any event. I think anybody, if they can do it, they need to go. But would I trade what I've got today in my life, the way I get to live every day, to go to the NFR? Absolutely not. You know, I wouldn't trade it at all. I mean, I'd have loved to have went, but you know, but you know, I met them guys, and I went to some of them bull ridings, even in '97 and '98 after I'd done quit for a year, and I wasn't even riding at my prime. I went to some of them bull ridings, and I never did get skunked. I would either just, in the short round, I would either draw too deep or not quite deep enough. I just never did draw just right to win the big check, you know. But them guys always treated me good. They never, you know, acted above, never made me feel like I didn't belong or anything, you know, at them. They all treated me. But it took me a long time to realize that the PRCA and the people was real. Because when I was growing up watching the National Finals Rodeo in Oklahoma City on Channel 5, the 10th round, Donnie Gay was like a fiction character. Like that was just a show that comes on TV. That was not a real, I couldn't comprehend that it was real because I didn't know anybody or anything about the PRCA. All I knew about was Preston Folks in the IPRA.
And the IPRA.
Yeah, so I was done grown and full-fledged in my career before I met Tough Hedeman and Jim Sharp and Jerome Davis. When he was a senior in high school, he come and stayed. He went to IRA Rodeos with me and stuff. So me and him was real good friends. And so, but you know, I mean, I chose to stay and go do what I done, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, you know. But them guys always treated me. I never got treated bad. No rodeo. Ever.
And I'd like to jump in right here, right now, because it is a different world for two reasons. One, you can cross over, and it's not looked down upon anymore. You know, before you couldn't cross over. You could have when you were riding, but when I was, you couldn't. You couldn't ride each, and it would have been so much better for the game on both sides if you could. But with these young kids, I was exactly like you were when I made the first IFR. I was in awe. You know, I couldn't even sit on the fence hardly. You know, but what, like Dalen and Colton and them, when we took them from kids to those junior high finals, to the IYFR, and to the high school finals, they got to the mix of competition they didn't know about, and they learned how to handle it and how to go. That's why there's so many rookies now that you've never seen it like it is today. So many rookies that are so good at such a level. They weren't there before. Their mindset wasn't there. You know, there wasn't many Joe Beavers that had the mindset to win the world as a rookie. And it's just incredible when Dalen, you know, he's taught me so much. Like, well, Dad, you said you're only as good as your competition. That's why I'm leaving here and going and doing these things. You know, he calls me up in February. He said, you know, I think I can make the NFR. After I told him, well, don't buy your card. You know, we had a pretty good discussion, stay in college another year, you know, wait. And, you know, in this way, he probably already won $15,000 that didn't count.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He said, I think I can do it. Well, if you think you can do it, you can do it, because
Bet.
I don't bet against you, let me tell you.
Right.
Right.
And lo and behold, he did something that nobody's ever done ever in the world.
Right.
And most of that goes back to the junior level of that high competition,
Yeah.
and being able to handle it.
Yeah, because when I was in high school, I didn't even know there was a high school rodeo association.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Neither
that.
did I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Nope.
So, it's just crazy that, the first rodeos I went to was just an open rodeo that anybody could enter. And
Yeah.
then I started going to the IRA rodeo. So,
Yeah.
I didn't know about high school rodeos or even how that worked.
And even if you did, your parents can't afford it. I had to mortgage a farm to take the boys to go.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and that's no joke.
Yeah. I believe
And
it.
it was worth every nickel. I'd do it again
Sure you
every day.
Yeah.
It is a blessing that they got to do things that we didn't have a clue what went on in life. And it's a different world out there. It doesn't matter where you're from now. If you got the desire, you can do it.
And and Donnie
Okay,
Gay made a statement one time. I heard him say the rounds pay at the NFR now more than he made the first year.
Yeah.
He won the world,
Yeah. That's right.
because the rounds pay more than he made all year.
You bet. You
And
bet. And the money's definitely come in, Dennis.
Oh, the
All
money's there.
So going back, and I'm just putting this together. 1989, you're at the finals. You sneak into the awards banquet, and you said, "I want me some of that."
Oh yeah, I had that. I'm telling you, that was one of the coolest things that I'd ever witnessed, was watching them give them guys, because and now today, as a middle-aged man, that now I'm a part of the business side of the rodeo world and not just a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing that I tell the people at the IFR is, you can rush through any part of this rodeo, but when it comes to that awards banquet, just slow down.
Yeah.
It don't matter how long it takes, because somebody's life just changed.
Yeah.
Somebody's lifelong dream just came true.
Yep.
So if
Yep.
they want to get up there and thank somebody, let them do it.
Yeah.
Don't hurry them up. Don't rush them through it. Because this is the very last thing we're going to do for this physical year. The very last thing we're going to do is give these awards away.
Right.
So let's slow down. Let's let them guys have their moment, because when they leave here, the new year starts.
Yep.
So you got about 15 minutes of that fame, till it starts over.
Yep.
And so, but that was just, but there again, and then so maybe we passed up. So my daddy, now my mama, she couldn't stand it. She couldn't stand to watch. She didn't even like to watch a video of me riding after I won.
Really?
Oh no.
Okay.
So she would get so nervous. But my daddy and my grandmama, she would go, "You remember my granny, Sam?"
Oh, how can you forget Granny?
Yeah. So she was an old bitty woman, and she would scream, and she would go, wherever I wanted to go. One year, we was at her house. She lived 3 miles down the road here, and we was at her house Thanksgiving, and I had a bunch of cousins and stuff, so we had a big family. So we was down there, and so I was entered at a rodeo in Knoxville, Tennessee on Thanksgiving night. So me and her and my daddy and one of my buddies left her house, and she told my aunts, she said, "Y'all can clean up, just whatever you want, stay long you want, but we got to go." So we left, and we go to the rodeo. I rode there Thursday night. Friday night, we rode in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh.
And we drove.
Holy cow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah.
So who were you traveling with in those days
Tim-
on a regular basis?
Oh, yeah. There was a guy named Tim Cox from Pisgah, Alabama, that went to a bunch. And then there were some bronc riders, Ron Hogan and Brett Wright. They went to a bunch. And, there was always different guys, that would come and go, that would want to go. But now, like at that deal that I was going to in New Mexico, it was the match of champions, a guy named Casper Baca. It was 100-head bull riding, but after each performance, they would match 2 guys, like the Canadian champion, the IRA champion, the PRCA champion, the Indian champion, the NARC finals champion. So it would have been 6 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the last day, who won the 3 matches, them 3 would match at the end of it.
Oh, wow.
So it come down to me. I matched the Canadian champion the first night, which was Darryl Mills, and I beat him by a couple points. And then the last match on Sunday was me and the Indian champion and Jim Sharp.
Oh, wow.
So me and the Indian got throwed, and Jim Sharp rode his, so he won the match.
Okay.
But then the following year I went, and it come down to me and the Indian, old James Paddock, and I was 87 on mine, and I think he might have had one of them ranker bulls and throwed him off. I can't remember, but I won it the second year. I mean, it was a real neat bull riding. You know?
So what was the association?
It wasn't.
Wasn't.
No, he just had a bull riding,
Yeah.
and he called it the Ultimate Match of Champions. So he would invite champions from each different association. He would advertise it where two guys matched at the end of the deal. You got on your bull for your bull riding, your competition bull. Then the last thing they done for that Friday night was me and the Canadian matched. Then the second night, it would be like the PRCA champion and maybe the Indian, and then the NARC finals champion and somebody else, I don't remember. So then the last night, the last performance, it was the three that won the matches.
I see.
Match for the, but it was still a 100-head bull riding. It was 100 guys entered in 3 days.
Holy cow!
So
Holy cow!
it was a good deal.
And how many head were you getting on then? 4 head?
I actually got on 3.
You got on 3 head.
I got on 3.
You got on 3.
I got on my first one for
Yep.
my competition.
Yep.
Then I matched the Canadian.
Yep.
Then I matched the final
Okay.
match.
Okay. And big money for the day?
You know, a couple thousand, which
Okay.
that was good to me.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, but
yeah.
not like it would be today.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
so then, but you know, I met Charlie Sampson out there at that bull riding, and he invited me to a bull riding he had in Phoenix, which was going to be in February. So he invited 30 guys to that bull riding, and it was going to pay $15,000, I think.
Oh, wow.
And so everybody got on one bull, and then top 15 went to short round. Out of the 30 guys, 29 of them had been to the NFR.
Oh, wow.
I was the only guy there that hadn't been to the NFR.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, they treated me just like I was one
Yeah.
of the guys, you know.
And by then, the mindset had kind of changed. I belong. I can compete.
You know, a little bit, but it still almost started over when I got with them guys. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, a little
yeah,
bit, because, you know,
yeah.
first time I saw Tough Edelman, I'm like, that's Tough Edelman.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
yeah.
like, that's Jim Sharp. You know, that's
Yeah.
Ty Murray. You know, wow. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, I mean, I remember the first time I seen them guys, you know, and it's hard to comprehend that they're just real guys.
Yeah.
You know, because you think they're superheroes. When you watch them on TV, you don't know if it, I mean, you can't I couldn't comprehend that it's real. But then when I met them in person, watch them, you know, there's no different to me. I think the reason that them guys, what separates them NFR guys from like a lot of the IRA guys is mindset. Just like Dalen.
Yeah.
He believed
Yeah.
that he could go to the NFR. That's why he went. Because if you don't believe you can, you're not going to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Because wanting to and believing you can is the first step, you know. And
Yes.
the further step from the top step first.
Yeah.
So you got to take that first step.
Yeah.
So, you know, and when he believed he could do it.
Yeah.
And he done it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the difference in the mindset of a lot of guys. You know, they settle. You know, and a little bit, when I look back, I don't have no regrets, but I feel like I settled a little bit by staying. But then when I look around at what I got from it, I
Yeah.
wouldn't trade it. Because
Yeah.
I probably am the luckiest man in the world to get to live like I live. And I got it from rodeo and doing how I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And you did get an opportunity while it wasn't the NFR, while it wasn't going down the road hard in the PRCA, that Albuquerque bull riding. I mean, you come across all these guys,
Yeah.
right? And you stood out.
And
And
I'll
you
tell
won
you-
the second year, you said.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you one of the coolest stories
Yeah.
of my whole bull riding career.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in West Plains, Missouri at a rodeo, and I get on this bull, and it's after that match, in New Mexico. So after the first match, where I got thrown off in the final match, so I didn't win the match, but you know, so I rode my first 2 bulls. Anyway, so I didn't know this, but they videoed it all, and they sold tapes, old VHS tapes in stores.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this. So I'm at a rodeo in West Plains, Missouri, and I get on this bull, and it's real muddy, and he don't buck very good, so he give me a reroute. So I'm over brushing my rope off. So this lady comes up to me, and she says, hey, she says, Dennis Morris from Tennessee, do you know who that would be? I said, that's me. She said, I've got a son that you've got to meet. I said, well, let me get off this other bull. And so,
Right.
so I get off this bull. So here comes this lady, her husband, They holding a little boy that's like 3 maybe, and then it's her daddy and his wife. So it's a grandmama, granddaddy, the daughter and her husband, and the little boy. So what had happened was they team roped some. So the grandmama was in a store. She saw a VHS tape with a picture of a bull rider on it. So she just buys it, gives it to the little boy. So he's playing in the house like he's Dennis Morris. Why he picked me out, I don't know. So anyway, the little boy's name was Cody Combs. So she introduced me to him. So after that, they'd come to the IPRA. And so then after I quit riding, I'd give him a glove or I'd give him a picture. So he would send me a school picture every year, even after I quit riding and stuff. So you rock on 25, 30 years later. So in 2011 or 12, when I didn't go to the IPRA to pick up, I was in Lexington, Kentucky at a bull riding.
Okay.
At a rough stock event at Three Hills, Dave Moy and them house. I was picking up. So we was sitting out there by the stalls. Truck trailer pulls in with a load of bulls. They unload, they pull out. This guy gets out and he walks up to me and he's tall, slim, got short facial hair. And he said, "You Dennis Morris?" I said, "Is this a trick question?" And he said, "You don't have no idea." He said, "You don't have no idea who I am, do you?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." He said, "I'm Cody Combs."
Wow.
I said, "No way." So we shook hands, we hugged. He called his mama and, and she cried and stuff. And he told me, he said, "I got to tell you something. I got a little girl that's 3. And he said, every single thing that you gave me, every picture, every glove, is hanging in her bed, on her bedroom wall."
Goodness. Oh, my goodness.
So that is a cool story to me, So, that's the kind of stuff I'm about.
Yeah.
Just having an impact on a little boy. Just saw me on a VHS tape.
You bet.
And now he's a grown man with a kid.
Yeah.
And so that was one of my whole all-time favorite, rodeo stories.
Oh, that is excellent. That's absolutely excellent. So the mindset changes. You qualify again, of course, for the IFR the following year. This is 1990.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, tell us about 1990. By the way, that was the year you won your first championship.
Yeah, but, I still would watch them guys ride, and I'd be thinking, how do they do that?
Yeah.
But, I was doing it, and I was riding at a higher percentage of it because, I was winning, but I still couldn't comprehend in my mind that, I had confidence, but I don't know that I had the confidence level it showed. It might have showed more than what I thought it showed because, I would see Terry Don West or Michael John Calico ride a bull, and I'd be like, what? How did they do that? You know? I was doing the same thing, and they could have been thinking the same thing about me. I don't know. But I just couldn't wrap my brain around being able to ride as good as them guys.
Yeah.
Then, so after I quit riding, then I look back on it. I think, well, shit, I could have went to the NFR, but maybe, because I rode a percentage.
Heck of a percentage.
Yeah. So
90%.
And and so even on my whole career, I had a higher percentage than lower.
Yeah.
So but I still think that my mindset, I couldn't wrap my brain around like I can ride as good or better than them guys.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that could have kept me humble too.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure. And that first year.
Well, and you're talking about a caliber, Michael John Calico, Terry Don West. We all know what he did. He was as good as anybody that put a pair of boots on, and he didn't even need them. He could have rode sneakers. And Clinton Cessna and Jerome Davis, that caliber of guys was as good as there was, the Jim Sharps. And, you can always argue who was the best ever, but any one of those guys could be in the mix.
Oh, yeah, because, when it gets to that level, it's a person's opinion of who's watching who's the best.
Sure.
From announcing to riding to clowning to picking up to fighting bulls, any of that. I think when you reach that level of competitiveness, it's just an opinion of a person that's watching and who's the best.
Yeah.
Kind of like Donnie Gay said, which girl's the prettiest depends on who's looking. He uses that statement all the time.
Yeah.
And it's the same way in any competition, I think.
Throw them in a bag and shake it up and pull one out.
Sure.
They're all that talented.
Yeah. And that 1990 season, Dennis, how hard you go?
Oh, I went.
Yeah.
I thought I was going a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I might not have. I probably went to 130, 140 rodeos. I'm not sure, but I always went to over 100 because I tell you, I would give anything if I had that ledger where we could look at it, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But from maybe 88 or 89 to 94, I would go to 26 rodeos in June, 29 in July, 29 in August, and 26 in September.
Holy cow.
So that was over 100 rodeos in 4 months.
Yeah.
So, because, you just go, and like you said, a name of a town was just a word to me. If I could get there before the rodeo started, I would go. Because I had a guy that, when I bought this place, I had a real good friend that I grew up with that moved in with me. And he would go with me, and help me drive and stuff. And then we had guys that went with us, a lot, but we didn't always have the same guys, because there'd always be somebody wanting to go, so they would stay a week or two. And then you go back to my argument in rodeo in general, back when they had the playoff series where you go into the finals, and I think it was this way in the PRCA and in the IRA back in the early 80s maybe, where whoever was in the lead going into the finals was the national champion. Mm-hmm. And Sam, you probably can know more about this than I would, but then whoever won the average at the finals was the world champion.
I see.
Is that the way it was, Sam?
Well, not necessarily. You had points coming in. If you were in the lead, you had so many at second, third, right down to 15. So, but it was set up to whoever won the most at the IFR. Because there was points for every round, and then the average paid a whole lot.
So, see, the argument I have with that system is, anybody that's caliber enough to go to the IFR or the NFR could draw the right animal and win the average. If you're capable of going, you're capable of drawing the right animal, winning the average, have the right weekend. But you be entered in 18 rodeos in 15 days, and it's August, and it's 90 degrees, and that very first one you get on hangs your foot in the gate, and he flips you upside down and stomps the air out of you. Well, guess what? You still got 17 more you got to get on before you get a break.
Yeah.
There ain't a lot of guys that can mentally or physically take that.
Yeah.
So that's why I argue the fact that the most prestigious title is the year-end world title.
You bet.
I think it should be the guy that wins the most after the finals is over.
Yep.
What he's got going into the finals and what he wins at all tallies up. The guy that wins the most is the world champion.
You bet.
That's why I see it, because you can take a guy that smokes them at the IFR that goes in 8th. He could end up being the world champion.
And on the opposite side of the ledger there, and I get exactly what you're saying, and I know why they did it. They did it because they wanted the champion, the crowd, to see the guy win it. It's like what NASCAR does now. Yeah, they wanted to say the champion right there, and like at the NFR, the money's so big that a lot of them guys, that will be the champion. But for a guy like me that didn't go to a lot of rodeos, that was nuts on him. I mean, it was like, oh, give me that truck.
Yeah.
I had it in my hands and taken away. But my brother-in-law, he won the truck, and he wasn't going to real hard. And it fell in some people's favor and some it didn't. It's like life. Sometimes it works for you and sometimes it doesn't.
Sure. Yeah. But
I can definitely see your point.
Yeah. My personal,
definitely see it.
Yeah. That was my argument when they did it that way. I wasn't going. Now, every year I went to the IFR, they didn't quit that. It was whoever won the most was the world champion. Yeah. So I didn't really ride, at the IFR during that time, but when I would hear about it and stuff, because I heard one time that one of the years that one of the guys was the world champion, another guy won more money than he did through the year, but that guy got the truck, But, I mean, I didn't really understand how that worked because I didn't really agree.
And that happened a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened a lot. If you drew good and it was your turn, you got the truck.
Yeah, yeah.
So 1990, big rodeos. I mean, you just gave the counts: June, July, August. Any injuries through there? Anything where you went, oh
You know,
man?
yeah, I had a bull throw me one time, and he threw me up in the air. It's one of them longhorn rodeos. And when I come down, I hit the ground on my hand first, and my hip hit my elbow on my left hand. It wasn't my right hand.
Okay.
And it popped it out.
Oh wow!
And it
Dislocated your
my
elbow.
Oh yeah, it was a mess. So that was on a Friday, and I wasn't entered nowhere on Saturday because my cousin was entered at a rodeo in Atlanta, and I was going down there to watch him, and then I was entered in one on Sunday in Alabama. So Saturday night I couldn't even get a shirt on because it was swelled so bad, and so I called my basketball coach when I was in high school, and he hooked me up with a trainer that. I think his name's Burton Elrod. He's the Titans trainer now, but back then he wasn't. But
Okay.
you know, he explained to him what was going. So he built me a brace, just so it wouldn't come out of joint. So, and it was so it didn't bother me to ride in. It's just I could hear it click. You know, and it was you know while you ride it was just kind of because I could hear it click. But I rode with that for several, maybe even a year.
Oh wow!
And then I just started putting a tight band on it. Well, then my arm got to just deteriorating right here. So finally, I went and had surgery on it.
Oh, you
the
did?
guy,
Okay.
Tulsa, Nevergall, that was the trainer for the IFR, he done surgery on it, tied it all back together, and it got well.
It got well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think I was out like 4 or 5 weeks.
And that was during the 1990 season, your first championship.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about that? So did you go into the finals, 1990? So the season is 1990. So we're talking January of 91. You go to the finals.
Yeah.
Are you in the lead of the world standings when you get there?
By a little bit.
By a little bit.
In front of Terry Don West and Michael John Calico. So that'll make you
Okay.
lay awake at night nervous, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was, so the first round, I had the bucking bull of the year. Kevin Hampton, Kevin Crunch. I was scared to death. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, what did I do to deserve this? Because nobody can ride this bull.
Yeah.
What? I mean,
Yeah.
so I ended up riding him.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so,
How many points?
80 something. You know.
Okay.
I didn't win the round, but I did place pretty deep. So everything, and I think Michael John and Terry Don probably rode theirs, I'm sure. But so everything kind of stayed the same. So I told my daddy, I said, well, I got this because I rode the rankings bull here. They can't throw me now. So the next round I get one jump.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
I didn't finish not good. He threw me off. And so I was like, what? You know, so then, and I'm sure they gained a little ground on me. And I was like, so in the third round, I won the round, and they didn't place. So that give me some little cushion, you know. So then in the last round,
Fifth round.
I tell you something, I was so nervous in the fifth round. I put my rope on that bull backwards 3 times.
Really?
Back in the preloads, because
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
always ride last, because I was
Yeah.
in the lead. So when I was back in the preload, I put it on, I thought, that don't look right. So I took it off, and I put it back on, and I done it 3 times. Well, actually, I put it on wrong twice, but the third time I got it right. So if, luckily, all they had to do, if one of the 3 of us would have rode, and the other one got throwed, whoever rode would have won.
Would have won.
Would have won the world.
Okay.
Well, so when finally Michael John rode, he got thrown.
He did.
I thought, whew. Now, I'm like, Terry Don's not going to get thrown because he don't get. So, and he had a bull that he'd done rode like a couple times,
Okay.
but he threw him off. So that was like a big sigh of relief. It's like, I was thinking to myself, I thought, I know. He just got thrown. So I know good and well, you know, like I'm the world champion.
Don't even have to get on.
Yeah, I know this. So then I get on and I get thrown.
Oh, no.
So, but anyway, so they called me. So I tell another funny story. So my daddy's like one of the toughest men ever. So when I was in 8th grade, my granddaddy passed away, and I saw 3 tears run down my daddy's face. The only time I ever seen him cry in my life. So his story's hard to tell, but it's a cool story. So he's up, my granny's up there, my aunt and uncle, and some of my buddies, a bunch of people from here. They're all with, they got signs, you know. So, and on the way out in Springfield, there were signs all up in town.
Really?
Good luck, Dennis, #1 bull rider, blah, blah, blah. So when I get off that bull, and I knew that I was world champion, I run up them steps, and I go over and I hug my granny, and she's got a rag on her head, and so my uncle, he done wadded his hat up. My aunt, she's there all screaming and hollering. So I run up, and my daddy is standing at the top of them steps where it turns to go around, and he's talking to another guy. So I didn't see him. So when I run back, because they hollering for me to come down,
Yeah.
because they ready to introduce the world champions.
Yeah.
So they're hollering for me. So when I go up them steps and I'm turned to the right, he grabs me by the arm, and he spun me around, and he was looking me right now, and he said, "Ah, damn, you did it, didn't you, boy?" And his lips started quivering.
Oh my!
And I was like, and I was like feeling my eyes start swelling up, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I got to be on TV." You know, so I was like running down there, wiping my eyes and stuff. But you know, he was a proud man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a proud man.
And I guarantee it was harder on your dad than it was you.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, I can't
Yeah,
even
it's,
imagine. Yeah.
You're all in knots because you got no control of it. You know,
Right.
as a parent.
Yeah.
You know, you got no control, and you know you've done everything you could do to get them to that point, and it's up to them. And,
But you know, my family has been a big part of my life. It still is. I come from a close family. But I had such a support system from friends and my family, and I mean, in everything I've done. And even after I quit riding and started putting on rodeos, I mean, my mama and my sisters, when we put that rodeo on down there, you don't never see them. But they take care of all the gates.
Okay.
They
Okay.
they take care of taking up tickets.
Yeah.
And so I give them envelopes and have a paper wrote on who is supposed to get paid. They find me Saturday, I take it and give it to everybody. And so when the rodeo's over, Sunday after church, when my mama was physically and mentally able to do it, she took care of it. Now my sisters do, and they have a boot box, and they'll have, when you raise that top up, they'll have wrote, this many people paid Friday, this many advance tickets was Friday, I paid the security this Friday, I paid this Friday, this is what come in Saturday, this is what I paid, this is how much should be in this box. And I'll promise you it'll be right down to the penny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right down to the penny.
Yeah,
I don't never have to question. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just little things like that where, you know, the behind the scenes are the most important people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, and they don't never bother me, you know, and I just go put the rodeo on, and that part of the rodeo I don't even like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
having to do that.
Yeah.
And so they take care of the parking. You know, my nieces and one of my nieces and her husband and kids, they park the cars. They do the cleanup. You know, I mean, it's crazy the support system that I've had through my whole life.
I was going to say, because I mean, they traveled. I was just sitting here thinking, you know, they got to go to the IFR and watch you. They did that every year. That's pretty neat.
So then my two of my sisters, my oldest sister passed away about 3 or 4 years ago, but my other two sisters had kids back when I was riding, so they went to some rodeos, but they never been to the IFR. So this past year out there, I was getting an award at the Old Time Union for the most deserving old timer. My other two sisters and one of my cousins drove out there. First year they've ever been.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it was
Okay.
the coolest thing ever.
Okay.
They got to go and
Yeah.
you know, see it. It was real neat. So you know, it's still a support system there.
You bet.
In the rodeo world and in whatever we decide to do.
You know, we actually, Mike Swearingen and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. You know, all these cowboys and cowgirls that are pounding down the road, they got support systems that help them out in a lot of different ways. And without those support systems, Dennis.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen. From finances to just I mean just moral support.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
of anything
Yeah.
you do, you know, it's you got to have it.
Well, I mean, your dad started you on your way by saying, go to it, and we got enough money to get you home.
That's right.
So that's a safety net,
Exactly.
right? I mean,
That's exactly right.
that's part
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
mental aspect.
And I
of
would
it.
write, because before cell phones, so I would write down what town I was going to be in each night until I was coming home.
Okay.
I'd stick it on the refrigerator.
So they'd know where you were.
And as soon as rodeo was over, first stop I made was a phone booth.
Yeah.
And I'd call home.
Payphone.
Yeah, and I'd call my mom and tell her, I was okay, and stuff. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's neat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I come from a real close family.
Yeah.
I mean, closer than, even guys that I rodeoed with back in the day that I talk to now, they still talk about my family when they would come here.
One year, I don't know where we're going, what we're doing. I was with Mike, and there was some kind of storm coming in, and we were at your house.
Really?
And they kept saying a snowstorm, and I don't know. I thought, what the hell? What?
Yeah.
A snowstorm? What's the big deal? What's going on? Why is everything they're shutting down the highway?
Yeah,
what
exactly.
the hell is happening? Because I'm used to it. But
Yeah.
you figured out why. They
Yeah.
didn't have nothing to clear it.
Yeah, we don't have. Yeah, if we get 2 or 3
We
inches
stayed
of snow.
there an extra day or two.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
And your family was always around there.
Yeah.
So after
Go
you
ahead.
win your
Sorry.
world championship,
Mm-hmm.
you don't stand in the back of the room anymore at the
Right,
awards
right,
banquet.
right.
What was that like?
Oh my God, it was crazy. Then they give my granny an award for the rodeo fan of the year, so she got all the attention, and so we went to a TV station somewhere in Nashville, and they'd want me and my granny to come, and so Bruce Lurkey, the Longhorn, he the one got all this together. Well, evidently they didn't have any videos of me riding a bull 8 seconds, because every single one they would show I got thrown off. I'm like, really? I mean, do y'all not have a video of me riding one? I mean, why you got to show that? So anyway, they'd always set the guy in the middle. I'd be on one side, my granny would be on the other side. So they would introduce me first and ask me some questions. Then introduce my granny. So then I'm sitting there like I'm not going to hit those guy on the leg and say, hey, dude, what about me? They don't
What
forgot
about
about me.
me?
They
Yeah,
got granny
yeah.
over, telling stories.
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
so cool. That is absolutely so cool. So in 1990, you won a world championship. In 1991, tear down West Winds.
Oh,
Yeah, tell us
he
about
went to
91.
100, got on 127 bulls,
Yeah.
and got through all 5.
Oh wow.
Now, how
Okay.
do you do that? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but I mean, and I was runner up.
Yeah. Oh, you were
Oh,
second
yeah.
that
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, he never got. I mean, Terry Don West. I'm gonna say, because there's so many great bull riders from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to now. But when you've got to, if you just had to narrow it down to one guy, he would have to be my go-to guy, maybe.
Really?
I
Of
think
all the IPRA bull riders of all time.
of all the PRCA bull riders.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm just gonna have to say, because I think he probably might have had a higher ride of all kinds of bulls. In his hand, waving his hand. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just hard. But in my mind, if I had to narrow it down, he would be in my top of the guys. Because,
Okay.
I mean, I just couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
because I was still riding good, and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, everywhere I went, I'd see his name. And I'd be like, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do next year. I'm going to go to 150. He's not going to beat me no more.
So 1992.
Yeah.
You win your second world championship. How many rodeos you go to in 92?
I mean, probably 140, 50.
140.
I just knew I was going to go to more than everybody else.
Okay.
If it was one I could get, I was going.
Yeah.
And so then I got to wanting to go to more rodeos, not just be a world champion. I wanted to be the guy that went to more rodeos.
Sure.
And because I had a van that had my name on it and had horns on the front.
Oh, wow.
Like, I was like the man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So I wanted to go.
Yeah,
And that, and so and I had such a support. People wanted to go with me, so it didn't have no reason not to go. And so we would. I'm gonna say in '92, I probably 130, 40, maybe 150. I can't. I don't know for sure, because I was going as many as I could. But then in '93, it become a challenge. I wanted to go to more than everybody else.
Really? That was the thing.
Yeah, I wanted to go to more rodeos than anybody. And I don't know that anybody's ever been to 169 IRA rodeos.
That's a lot of rodeos.
I don't know, though.
These were all IRA.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
169 IRA
goodness.
rodeos. Sanctioned
Oh, my
rodeos.
goodness.
Yes.
I mean, wheels are turning nonstop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd go from wherever. I spent endless hours with a road map and the rodeo news in my hand, just trying to figure out
Logistics.
oh yeah, where I could go, when I could get there, and if I could get if they had slack Saturday morning, I'd go there where I could go somewhere Saturday night, and if I could get one close enough where I could go during the performance and be there after the rodeo, and
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to try it.
And that, to the point, that takes a lot. That takes a bit of luck to get drawn up well.
Oh yeah.
With 169.
But I would back then. You entered yourself, and the secretary of the rodeo took the books. There wasn't no central entry, wasn't no next gen, none of that.
Right.
So I was really good friends with all the stock contractors and all the secretaries.
Okay. They knew who you were.
Oh yeah, and I was good friends with them because, and what I would do, I would make sure that I was on their side. So if they called me up, so a lot of times what I would do, if I knew I was only going in the wintertime or something, and I was only going to go to one rodeo, I'd call them and say, look here, put me down, I'm going to call you back as soon as the book's so you tell me what night you need me to come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to come whichever night you want me to come.
I see.
And so that way I would always stay on their side.
You bet.
And so I made it.
That's smart.
So I had a lot of, inside scoop on things. So I didn't. And then I had a lady, a good friend named Sandra Hurst, and she had a daughter named Leanne, and she was in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And I met them in the mid '80s, late '80s when I was just first riding. They was from Alabama, so they just become Dennis Morris and rodeo fans. So they went to a lot of rodeos and stuff. And so that Leanne, she would enter me.
Oh, okay.
Tell her where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And so then, after a while, I'd tell them other guys, hey, y'all get in her, give her $5 rodeo, she'll enter you. And so she kind of made a little business out of entering
Did
people.
she?
So, but I was first on the priority list.
Yeah.
Because we just got it started because she would just enter me.
Yeah.
We just become still good friends today.
Okay.
And so they stay, communicate with them. Now, Leanne, the girl, she passed away. But Sandra, we still talk some.
Oh, wow.
And stuff.
Wow.
Still
Those
good friends.
relationships.
Yeah.
So you win your third world championship. You're talking about 169 IRA rodeos, incredible numbers. And what do you remember about that? So that's 93 rodeo season. The 94 January of 94. You're at Oklahoma. What do you remember about that IFR?
All right. I remember riding all 5 bulls. And in the last round, I was 90.
Holy cow.
And ain't but 2 other guys. Bobby Gillis was 90 and back in maybe the 70s or the 80s.
Okay.
And then a guy named Tyson Hughes from Kansas was 90 on Saturday afternoon in 90. That year I was there in 90. So then in the last round, because I won the first round,
Mm-hmm.
and then I rode my second bull,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't place.
Mm-hmm.
And I split first and second in the third round. In the fourth round, I don't know. I rode my bull, but I don't know if I placed or not. If I did, it was down low.
Mm-hmm.
So then in the last round, it was me and Clinton Cessna
Mm-hmm.
had all 4 bulls rode.
Oh, wow.
Going
Okay.
into
Okay.
fit. So, and he had a bull from out there in California from Howe Rodeo Company that was like a former bull of the finals or something. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was thinking, gosh, dog. And then I had the bull that was runner up for bull of the year of Zingers, and he had threw me off early in the year.
Oh, we had.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Like I didn't ride him 2 jumps. And so I don't think nobody had rode him. I ain't sure, but not to my knowledge, they hadn't rode him at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So then Clinton, me and him was the only 2 that had 4 bulls rode going into the last round. So of course, Clinton rode his, and I'm like, son of a buck.
So he went 5 for 5 also.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And nipping at your heels in the standings?
I don't know. No, I think I had a big enough lead going in,
Did
so
you?
they couldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I had it. I think I had like a $10,000 or $15,000
Oh,
lead
wow.
going into the
Oh, wow.
final. So,
Okay.
but anyway, but he was, I was wanting to win that average really, really bad. And when I had 4 down, and I'm like, so, and then I drew this bull, and so I didn't really think I could ride him, and that's a bad thing because I thought, the way he bucked when I got on him, so I thought, well, I just got to get closer to the front, and to try to take his power away. So then I ended up, so I knew if I rode him, I was going to win the average.
Yeah.
So I rode him, and I was 90, and so I ended up winning the round, won the average, and so I got the highest score on 5 head still today.
Yeah. Oh, really? On 5 head on the average?
Yeah, because they ain't before round now.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So that
okay.
record will be held for a while.
So of all right of all the you shouldn't have told that part of it. You just shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So of all the IFRs, had you gone 5 before?
Oh no.
No, that was the first time.
3 was the most.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 was the most I'd rode.
Okay.
Up to that point. Yeah.
And you were how many points on that Zinger bull?
90.
What do you remember about that bull ride?
Oh, it was he was just jerking on me, and when he turned back, where he threw me the first time, when I got around the corner, and I was still on him.
Yeah.
He'd lunge forward.
I see.
And instead of coming on around, and then he went back the other way.
I see.
And I got caught back up to him because he turned back into my hand, and then he was kind of lost a little bit, like that bull was. Cause I don't think nobody had rode him up to that point, and then I think that bull kind of got lost a little bit, and he was slinging his old head, and he was just so he was. Then when he threw me, I hit right on my forehead.
Really?
Oh, it was pretty interesting. It was neat. It didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt.
No.
You was okay.
No.
You was okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that was your 3rd World Championship.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1994, the rodeo season. You cracked back out. What kind of numbers were you doing? 169 the year before, rode all but 20 bulls. What did 94 look like?
I was really doing good and wasn't getting thrown much.
Yeah.
And so I got on a bull over here at Zingerhead in Franklin, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And I rode him 8 seconds. And I was crawling away from him, and I heard my arm crack.
Oh, no.
So it was that old injury.
Yeah.
Had re-injured.
Oh, my.
And so that's when my arm started, it was just deteriorating right here.
Okay.
I mean, my bicep right here wasn't no bigger than my wrist. So
Okay.
I called old Nevergall out there, and he said, we got to fix it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was out for like 6 weeks, and then I started back getting on them, and I still went right back to riding pretty good, but and I ended up, I rode, I think, maybe 2 or 3 that year, but I didn't win the average or nothing, but I had enough to win the world.
And in 94, you had won the average.
I'd won it in 93.
93.
Yeah,
January of 94.
Yeah.
Okay.
So January of 95 would have been my 4th world title.
Yes.
But I didn't win. I think I might have rode 3 bulls, but I might have just rode 2 because I was still kind of having certain. But I was riding okay. I mean, that arm didn't really affect that much.
Yeah.
I mean, because you could blame it on that, but I still rode all right. But then in 95, that bull fell on me. That's the first time I'd ever really been seriously hurt.
Okay.
Because I mean, when they carried me to the hospital, and I couldn't move my legs.
So back up. 95. Where did a bull fall on you?
Nashville.
In Nashville.
In Nashville.
Longhorn Rodeo.
Longhorn Rodeo. And it was a great old big bull and had great old big horns, and it had him in the very front bucking chute.
Yeah.
And if I'd had him back a little bit, it probably wouldn't have hurt him.
Okay.
When he jumped out and he flipped.
The bull fell on you.
And he hit the panels.
Yeah.
And my head went
Yeah.
down the panel like an accordion, So then, and he landed on top of me, and he rolled over, and his feet was against the panel, so he couldn't get off.
Oh, my goodness.
So I just had my arm over top of my face so he wouldn't hit me in the face because my hand was still in the rope. So they had to take his feet and roll him back over me.
Holy cow.
So they packed me out,
Yeah.
and they hauled me to that hospital,
Yeah.
and I couldn't move my legs.
Holy cow.
I mean, I could feel them when he poked me with a
You
pin.
could.
I couldn't move.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah, they poked me with a pin. So this was on Sunday, and I ate about 11 o'clock Sunday morning before I went to the rodeo.
Yeah.
So I was going to go eat after the rodeo. So now I'm about to starve to death.
Yeah.
Monday comes, they won't let me eat because it busted something up in my stomach. So then the doctor comes in and tells me that they don't know if it's a crack or they don't know, but they know the swelling swelled around my spine, and
Yeah.
and if that swelling stays swelled enough that it kills them nerves around my spine, I'll be paralyzed.
Yeah.
But if it goes down, I'll be fine. I said, well, how long's too long? And he said, well, I don't know. And I said, well, how will I know? He said, well, you'll know. So fast forward on till Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I ain't eating nothing.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, my.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, of course, I'm sure they had liquid in me, but I'm about to damn starve.
Yeah.
So my mama's sitting over there reading the paper, and I'm laying over there, my head starts hurting. And I'm telling you, my head was hurting so bad. I ain't never had a migraine, but I'm telling you, So I told her, I said, look, you got to tell him to get me something for my headache, because I'm fixing to die, I think, from his headache. So you're going to have to get, so they come in there and give me 2 Tylenol, and they have one of them little baby Sprites.
Yeah.
So they poured some of it in a cup,
Yeah.
and they told me to drink it.
Yeah.
But they set the can down. But you know when they turned their head, what I done, I grabbed it. And they ain't never tasted so good.
Oh, my. Yeah.
I could have sucked the sides in on the choke boy. So I was laying there and told my mom, I said, if anybody calls, I can't talk.
Yeah.
So I had my head covered up and had a rag on my head. And I'm laying there, and it was about 2 o'clock on Tuesday evening. And my head just quit hurting.
Just like that.
It didn't almost quit, it just stopped. So I looked, and I'd been laying there in the bed thinking I'm gonna do it this time, and and I'd think, all right, here I go, and I couldn't move. I couldn't move the bed. So then when my head quit hurting, I was almost scared to try because I'd been trying for so long, and I looked down and wiggled my foot, I wiggled this, and I pulled my foot up, I just flipped them covers out. My mom said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to get up. And she said, no, you ain't. I said, oh, yes, I am. Yeah. I said, so you can go get me some help, or you can help me. I'm getting up. So she goes and gets the doctors, and they come in there, and I had to hold the rod in it. So they went and got a doctor, and he said, if you can walk around this twice, you can go home. Let's go.
Wow.
I walked around, it ain't bothering me. It ain't bothering me none. But I had a knot right above my belt for a few weeks, and I couldn't button my pants, but them bastards was too tight anyway. So the knot didn't matter.
You didn't need to eat for 4 days.
That's right, yeah.
No broken bones. No internal injuries. Other than the swelling around your spine for just a while.
Yeah.
And that went down. Oh, my.
So then, because I'd never had ever really been scared.
Yeah.
But that kind of affected me a little bit mentally.
Yeah.
So I got on that bull again.
You did?
Uh-huh. He threw me off, but I got on him again. He didn't fall down.
Yeah.
But then, so I went to the finals that year. Mm-hmm. That's when I got to thinking about retiring.
So that would have been the 95 season.
Right. So it's been January of 96.
96.
Yeah.
And you were thinking about it, but you hadn't announced. Did you announce it? You did.
I told the announcer.
Jerry Bellis and
because I had that bull that boy had rode in the first round.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this is perfect because I ain't gonna win the round, but I'm gonna place.
Right,
this
right.
boy's just gonna kick, turn back,
Right.
So I'm gonna win the round. I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna wave.
Yeah.
13,000 people's gonna cheer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out with the great hoorah. Well, then when he threw me,
the
bull threw me off.
No big cheers. No big.
They clap, but
yeah.
So
how many more years did you qualify then for the finals?
None.
That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
So I qualified 8 times.
8 times, yeah.
For the IPRA.
Okay.
Yeah. 88 through 95. And then I didn't go. Then I didn't ride any in 96, and then started back in 97, 98. But, and then I went to some of them bull ridings, but I didn't. I didn't never do as good as, because my mindset had weakened a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. And you say mindset a lot, and so we're talking about the approach or how you're seeing it, how you're enjoying it.
Yeah, because I was
confidence.
Well, when I was riding, if there was a ranked bull, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But after I quit for a year and I went back,
okay,
I was like,
okay,
maybe I just get the good.
Yeah.
I didn't really want the. So it was a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it is your mindset. It is the whole thing. Because, like, when I started to slow down, and I had to get myself up to ride them instead of you were there.
That's right.
Automatically, this is what you wanted to do your whole life. And it didn't. It's what you wanted, and that's what you were going to do. But then you're like, oh man, okay, let this rodeo, and it is adrenaline and what you want to do.
Yeah, and then I had so much going on at home with bulls and stuff that I'd wait till the last minute to leave, and then I couldn't wait to get home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So
your mind, your body's kind of telling you time to head back to the house.
Yeah. So and I just didn't crave. I didn't want to go to 150 rodeos. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well. And you weren't eating it, drinking it, and thinking it
That's
constantly.
exactly right.
You had other things to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And
because when I tell guys, like when you are having a bull riding school, you don't fix a problem you're having riding bulls while you're riding. Mm-hmm. You fix them when you're not riding. I mean, if you're having trouble with your free arm, if you're having trouble with your feet, you fix it laying in the bed at night thinking about it, or driving up down the road talking to your buddies, you're thinking about it, what you're doing wrong, what you need to do to fix it. Mm-hmm. And so it becomes second nature. It's muscle memory. You do, while you're laying in the bed at night, you think about with your eyes shut what you need to do to fix your problem. So then when you go get on that bull, all you're focused on is just holding on for 8 seconds. Mm-hmm. So your mindset fixes that problem. You won't continue to let it happen.
I see.
So you can't fix it while you're riding, because if you're thinking about fixing a problem, it's going to happen. When you nod your head and you're thinking about fixing a free arm problem, your free arm fit goes the wrong place. So when
I even go a step farther than that. When the boys were out working and stuff, they're loading the trailer with hay. Make it square. Think about it. You get in line, make it square. Do everything you can, and put it back to what you want to do in your rodeo end of it.
Yeah.
If you're driving that nail, hit it right, solid, square. Think about it.
Yeah. And when
whether it makes the difference or not, I don't know.
Yeah, sure it does, because every post that's on my place, we dug it with a hand digger.
Yeah.
And I used to mow my mama's yard with a push mower, listening to Eye of the Tiger.
Okay. Yeah.
Them Rocky movies, I forget it's a movie. I mean, I've watched them so many times. Rocky's in Rocky 1, when he was standing outside the door when that girl gave him that dog, the room number's 1119. I done watched it so many times. I knew what room number it did. I can recite them. That dog name was Buckus. I can recite them. I've watched them first 4, and them rest of them I didn't like, but them first 4, if they don't get your motor running, you're not competitive.
You're not competitive.
I can tell you. Yeah.
All right.
So
Adrian!
exactly.
Adrian!
Yeah. I'm telling you now, I've watched them so many times. It's crazy.
Okay. I'm going to do something new here, and Sam's not even heard this. Our listeners haven't heard it. I was thinking about this on the way down, Dennis. I got what are called hot shot questions.
Okay.
First thing comes in your mind. Okay. How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Okay.
Instant.
Nescafe.
In a tin cup.
In a tin cup.
Yeah. Folgers.
Folgers. Okay. Mountains or the beach for a vacation?
Mountains.
Okay. What are you driving these days? Truck brand?
I got one of each. Ram.
I was going to say, you better say Ram.
Yeah, exactly.
Which of the four-time world champion bull rider, which belt buckle are you wearing today?
First one.
Is that the one?
I can't take it off.
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed because it's dirty and I wear it every day. Now I've got my fourth one. My granny had it when my house burned. So I've got my first and my fourth one. The other one's burnt. So, but I wear this first one every day because I just can't not wear it.
Okay.
But sometimes it does pinch my belly a little. But I still have to wear it. I just can't not wear it.
Okay. All right. So here's another one. If you started a podcast, what would it be called?
Rafter M.
Rafter M.
Rafter
Okay.
M, yeah.
And who would be your first guest?
Dakota Brown.
Dakota Brown.
Yeah.
And who's Dakota Brown?
The bullfighter that lives right up the road. One of the best bullfighters going up and down the road today.
Okay.
And he needs to be at the IFR fighting bulls in January this coming year.
Okay. Listen to that, all of our cowboys going down the road, our bull riders. All right, here's another one. If you could spend a day with one rodeo athlete, living or not, past or present, who would it be?
Stetson Wright's daddy.
Cody
Wright.
Daddy. Cody Wright.
Cody Wright.
Why?
Because I think it is proven that he was a great bronc rider, and it's proven that he's raised great bronc riders.
Boy.
Not just cowboys.
Yeah.
And they're good people.
Yeah.
And so I would love to spend a day with that whole family.
Yeah.
But if I had to narrow it down to one guy, it'd be Cody Wright.
All right. Final question. They do a movie about the life of Dennis Morris, 4 times world champion, IPRA bull rider. Who do they get to play you?
Wow. I don't know. Oh, me. I don't know.
Adrian!
If you could back him up 20 years, he'd be a good one.
Let's say you can.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. Yeah. Oh, wow. We've covered a lot of ground today, Dennis. Mm-hmm. What have we not talked about?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It has been good.
He'll think of something
Well,
before
yeah,
the pays.
Of course.
Yeah.
So let's hear your promotion. Let's hear your promotion for your rodeo coming up the end of July.
Okay, it's in Springfield, Tennessee. Gupton's Ram Tough Rodeo. It's 1,000 added per event, 2,000 in the team roping. So, and it's thanks to the IPRA, July 29th and 27th, 28th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 p.m.
Put it on your calendars.
Put it on the calendar.
Whether you're entering or you're going to watch, where can they get tickets? How can they find you?
See, you ask me questions
I
I don't know,
do.
but because I'm not social.
Okay.
Rafter M Rodeo Facebook or Webpage, whatever that is.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
you know,
They can get tickets on there or find out where
they
to
can
go.
find out where to get them. Or
Okay.
they can call Gupton Motors in Springfield, Tennessee. They can get
So,
tickets
so
there.
to be clear, Gupton Motors, home of the Ram.
Rome of the Ram.
Okay, they can call there
They
and say
can call
we
there and
need
they
tickets.
can get tickets there.
All right.
And buy a truck while they're there.
Exactly. Well, this has been a blast, Dennis. I'm so appreciative of you coming on the show and allowing us to hang out here at the house.
Oh, yeah.
Great to come down here. Beautiful place, beautiful countryside, really neat. And when you come north, Louisville, Lexington, that's my neck of the woods,
Oh, yeah.
Dennis. Yeah, all you got to do is call.
I got it.
All right.
I got it.
All right.
Don't be surprised if I don't show up.
I know. Well, we got rooms. Sam will tell you. We got rooms, don't we, Sam?
Doug will take care of you. It's just like going to a hotel when you get to his
That's
house.
good. That's good.
I'll leave the light on.
You walk
Okay,
in-
that's good.
He'll take care of you.
I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
All right. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of our podcast with four-time bull riding champion, Mr. Dennis Morris, Mr. Four-time. If you do, please share it with your friends. You know, word of mouth is the best way to get these stories out. And good golly, who doesn't want to hear this great story of Mr. Dennis Morris? So share it around, pass it around. And to make your listening easier, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, search for Beyond the Chutes and follow us. Like us, rate us, give us comments. Let us hear from you. Who do you want to hear from next? Let us hear from you. If you like Reels on Facebook, we got Reels. So you want to check them out. They're 30 seconds. They've got some great pictures. Tom Wadrich, who's also known as Tom Woods on Facebook, great pictures from the 70s and the 80s. Check out our Beyond the Chutes Facebook page, and again, follow us. And thank you to ParaSight Systems for their support with our podcast. They help us go down the road. They put us on the road, keep our wheels turning. ParaSight System is a push-button parasitic diagnostic system for pasture animals, horses, cattle, goats, sheep, and chickens, and now brand new for your companion animals, your dogs and your cats. You can find them at ParaSight, that's SIGHT, ParaSightSystems.com. And we've got a coupon code BTC023 for 50% off your mail-in test kits. All you got to do is go on and order them. They will ship them to you. Easy process, and very quickly you will know exactly what parasites your horses, your cattle, your sheep, your pigs are carrying. And a big thank you to the IRA Project Facebook group for all their help and their guidance. They have really helped get the wheels of our machine rolling. This is Beyond the Chutes with
Sam Swearingen.
and
Dennis Morris.
until next time, this is Doug Simcox. Thank you for listening.